Every narcissist is desperately trying to hide from a deep pain they never want you to know about. And a lot of their behavior is overcompensation for it. But you wouldn't notice that at first. In the beginning, they come across as the most confident person in the room. The one who takes up space without apologizing for it. The one who seems completely unbothered by what anyone thinks of them. That's what pulled you in. And somewhere along the way, that same person started doing things that made no sense to you. The rage that came from nowhere over something small. The way a simple disagreement turned into a full-scale attack on your character. The coldness that descended the moment you said something he didn't like. The way he couldn't hear even the mildest criticism without making you pay for it. You've been trying to understand how the same person who seemed so sure of himself could be so threatened by you. Today I'm going to show you what's underneath all of it. I'm Mia Caruso. I'm a certified REBT practitioner and narcissist relationship specialist. Today I'm going to show you the hidden weakness every narcissist has, why he works so hard to keep it buried, and how understanding it stops his behavior from having the same power over you. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button before we go further. New episodes drop every week, and this is a channel you're going to want to stay tuned into. Let's start with the confusion you always seem to feel around him. There's a moment most women in a relationship with a narcissist can point to. Not the first red flag, not the first argument, the moment where he did something so out of proportion to what was happening that it stopped you cold. Maybe you brought up something he'd done that hurt you, calmly, without accusation, and he erupted in a way that had nothing to do with what you'd said. Maybe you had a win, something you were proud of, and instead of being happy for you, he went cold, or found something wrong with it, or turned the conversation back to himself so fast you almost missed it. Maybe you caught him in a lie, a clear one, no room for interpretation, and instead of owning it, he looked at you like you were the one who had done something wrong. In every one of those situations, you were watching the same thing. You just didn't have a name for it yet. What you were watching was a man whose deepest wound had just been threatened. And everything that followed was his entire system responding to cover it back up. Here's what that wound actually is. Not arrogance, not selfishness, not simply a bad childhood, though that's often part of how it started. The wound underneath every narcissist is shame. And I know that word probably doesn't fit the person you're describing, because the narcissist in your life doesn't look ashamed. He looks like the opposite of ashamed. He's so confident and bold, and maybe even appears to be fearless. But the shame a narcissist carries is not the kind you or I feel when we've done something wrong and we know it. That kind moves through you. It motivates you to make something right, and then it passes. What a narcissist carries is different. It formed early enough and cut deep enough that it stopped feeling like an emotion and started feeling like a fact. A fact about who he is underneath everything. That he is fundamentally not enough. That if anyone ever saw him without the armor, what they'd find would confirm every fear he's ever had about himself. Researcher Gershon Kaufman spent decades studying how shame shapes personality, and found that when shame arrives early enough and goes deep enough, the psyche stops processing it the way it processes ordinary guilt. It buries it. And then it builds an entire identity over the burial site to make sure no one, including the person himself, ever goes near it again. That identity is what you fell for. The confidence, the certainty, the way he moved through the world like it owed him something. All of it was constructed, layer by layer, to keep what's underneath out of reach. Once you understand that, his behavior stops being random. It starts making a kind of terrible sense. Take the rage. You said something, or did something, or simply existed in a way that reflected back to him something he couldn't tolerate seeing in himself. And he erupted, not because you did something wrong, because you got too close to the thing he has spent his entire life making sure no one touches. Researcher June Price Tangney studied the connection between shame and aggression for years and found that people carrying deep, unprocessed shame are far more likely to respond to perceived threats with rage rather than reflection. Because reflection would mean looking inward. and looking inward is the one direction his entire psychological structure is designed to prevent. So instead, the rage goes outward, at you, for being the mirror that showed him something he could not face. I experienced this in my own relationship with a narcissist. There were times I said something completely ordinary, a mild observation, a simple question, nothing loaded. And what came back was so out of proportion I used to wonder if I'd said it differently than I thought I had. I hadn't. Something I said had grazed the wound without me knowing it was there. And what followed had nothing to do with me, and everything to do with what I'd accidentally gotten close to. The gaslighting works the same way. When he rewrote what happened, when he told you that you remembered it wrong, that you were too sensitive, that you were making something out of nothing, he wasn't just lying to you. He was protecting himself from having to be the person who did what he did. Owning it would mean looking at himself honestly. And an honest look is the one thing his internal world is built to prevent at all costs. So he rewrites the story until he is no longer the one who caused harm. And you, standing there with your own clear memory of what happened, become the problem. Not because you are the problem, because you are the evidence he needs to make disappear. The withdrawal works the same way. When he went cold, when he punished you with silence, when he pulled back into somewhere you couldn't reach him, it felt like something he was doing to you. And in one sense, it was. But what was also happening was that he was putting distance between himself and a situation where he felt exposed. Distance is how he protects the wound. When he pulls back, he's not just punishing you. He's removing himself from the risk of being seen. And then there's the need to win. Every argument, every disagreement, every time you had a perspective that differed from his, he fought until you either gave in or gave up. Not because he believed he was right every single time, but because losing an argument means being wrong. And being wrong to a narcissist doesn't register as a minor concession in a conversation. It feels like the curtain being pulled back on everything he's been holding together. So he fights, he deflects, he drags something you did months ago into the middle of the room. He keeps going until you stop pushing, and the moment you stop, he resets like nothing happened. Because for him, in the way that matters to his internal world, nothing did. The wound is still covered. That's all the reset was ever about. Now here is what I want you to understand about every criticism he ever aimed at you. Every time he made you feel like you were too much, or not enough, or failing some standard you never agreed to. Every flaw he pointed out. Every moment he questioned your memory, your perception, your judgment, your worth. None of that was a verdict on who you are. All of it was a man taking what he could not stand about himself and putting it somewhere else. You became the place he put it. Not because of anything you did, because you were there, and you cared, and you stayed, and that made you the closest available surface. This is a real psychological process called projection. It's one of the primary ways a person with deep unprocessed shame keeps from having to own what's inside them. They locate it in someone else instead. The inadequacy he couldn't face became something he found in you. The unworthiness he carried became a criticism he aimed at you. The things he said about you were never really about you. They were about him. And absorbing that, not just as an idea, but as something you feel the truth of, in the place where his words still echo, is where his hold on you begins to lose its grip. So what does this change for you? When he rages, you now know what you're watching. A man whose wound just got grazed. That doesn't mean you accept the rage or stand in it. It means you stop standing in it, wondering what you did wrong. Because you didn't do anything wrong. You got close to something he cannot let anyone see, and his system fired the only way it knows how. When he goes cold and withdraws, you now know that's not punishment, even though it's designed to feel like it. It's protection. He's creating distance between himself and a moment where he felt exposed. You can stop chasing the warmth back, because you're not chasing something you lost. You're watching a man run from his own reflection, and no amount of reaching is going to stop that. When he criticizes you, when he finds fault, When he makes you feel like you're falling short, you now have somewhere to put it. It's not information about your worth. It's a man redirecting his own shame onto the person closest to him. You can let it pass without letting it settle. Being able to watch his behavior without absorbing it as a statement about who you are is the foundation of protecting yourself inside this dynamic. And it starts here, with understanding exactly what's driving what you've been living through. What I call the narcissist smokescreen is the full collection of patterns he uses. The rage, the rewriting, the withdrawal, the criticism, all of it working together to keep you confused, doubting yourself, and focused on what you're doing wrong instead of what he is doing. When you understand the wound underneath the smokescreen, those patterns stop pulling you under the way they have been. You can see them for what they are. And what you can see clearly cannot control you the way what you can't see does. If you want to get a better handle on what's going on and how to protect yourself from a narcissist in your life, I created the Narcissist Self-Defense Method to help you get there. It's a 21-day audio program that breaks down exactly how the smokescreen works and how to make a narcissist lose their grip on you. Each day builds on the last, and by the end you'll have a completely different relationship with his behavior, with your own perception of events, and with your ability to protect yourself without losing yourself in the process. The link is below this video. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss another episode. I'll see you next time.